Everyone loves to save money.
And we're here to help you play the best games at the lowest possible price. Hi, I'm Marky.
And I'm Freddy, and today we got great deals for PlayStation, so let's get started. Nothing better than free games, and I'm going to start with the free PlayStation Plus games for the month of July. And the first one I'm going to talk about is Crash Bandicoot 4. If you've been following the channel, you will know that I mentioned this game a lot because it's a great platformer game. Definitely harder than any Crash Bandicoot that you played before. It's definitely still very fun, especially in 4K and 60 frames per second. I can't wait until we get this game starting next Wednesday. It's going to be July 6th, I believe. The next game we will get for free is Man of Medan. It's a party game where your decision is gonna affect what's gonna be happening afterward, and it's very similar to Until Dawn. So if you like that game, well, there's a high chance you'll like this one. The next game I never played before, it's Arcade Gaiden. It's a PvP PvE game, shooter. Crazy, I heard, and it's gonna have the looting that you expect in a lot of these kind of games. I heard it's crazy. It has a lot of things happening at the same time. It's more like cartoony. It's reminds me a lot of Fortnite. Again, I never played it, but I'm excited to have it for free.
One of the retailers we always like to bring up that a lot of people might not think of is GameFly. Now, the sale that's going on for these titles are used titles, but they are sold as used like new. But like with any used titles, you take it with a grain of salt because the prices on these are worth checking out, because at this investment, I mean, you don't have too much to lose, especially with the titles that are out here. And two of the ones that I want to mention is Guardians of the Galaxy for $14.99. Guardians of the Galaxy, if you can't remember, was actually almost not even a year old. It's a full single-player only game. Great graphics, and also an interesting story. While I've yet to play it, it's got a lot of choices that you can make that actually affect certain parts in the story. And this was launching a full $60, $70 game. So getting a hold of this thing for $15 is a great get. And another one that I want to mention is GTA Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, for $19.99. Now, when people who've caught that trilogy in the beginning, it was very, very rough. So I'll say that out the gate. Now, I haven't kept up to date on what's been going on with it update-wise. Then my hope is that it's in a somewhat stable state. So this would be something more along the lines, like I said, people are trying to enjoy the nostalgia of those three classic Grand Theft Auto games. This might be worth checking into. Check the update history, though, to see if it's something that's still in a decent state for you to pick up. Because even when it was launching at full price. $19.99 is a much more sensible get. So at the very least, for just a little bit of nostalgia, it's worth going into for that.
If you've been following our channel, you will know that we like to recommend games that we're gonna be very cheap on you. And in this case, I'm gonna mention a game that is called The House of Ashes at GameStop for $18, and pretty much you can play it for 7 or 8 hours, and then you can trade it in, get GameStop store credit for $14. In fact, you can boost these $14 if you do some of the trade bonus that I'm gonna mention in a bit. House of Ashes is a party game that is very similar to Until Dawn. In fact, it's made by the same studio, where your decision will affect what's going to happen to each character. You can play the game with a friend online. You can play it as a party mode, and this is what I think makes the game a lot more fun. Should be scary. I didn't find it that scary, but the story is still really good. It takes a place in Iraq, and you'll be playing as part of the military army, the American army, and some of the Iraqi army. It's going to be combination against the devil. I'm not going to ruin the story, but your choices were going to affect what's going to happen for every character. It's a fun game. I played it recently with a friend. It was a lot of fun. You can get bonus 30% extra credit if you trade the game within this week. 10% will come from the membership, and 20% can be optional if you pre-order any of the newly released games that are going to be released really soon. I'm going to show the title on the screens. If you pre-order any of these, you're going to get another 20% on top of these prices. So again, this is where the GameStop membership can be really helpful. If you have the $5 monthly coupon, you can apply on this price and actually get the game for like $13 or $14, assuming how much tax you have in your state. But yeah, this is one of the games that I feel is really good to mention. Another game at GameStop I'm going to mention for this week is Mafia Definitive Edition. The current price for it is $15.99, and if you have the $5 monthly coupon that comes from GameStop membership, you can actually get it for $10.99. This will be the cheapest that we have seen for this great game, in my opinion. And this is, again, the membership for GameStop is just $15 a year. And in fact, there's a promotion now. You can get $10 bonus back if you sign up for the membership. So basically $5 for a year out of pocket, and you get every month $5 coupon and 10% extra trade in. So I still feel the membership hold a lot of value. Now, speaking about the game, Mafia Definitive Edition is a game that was released back in the early 2000s. It's going to take place in the 1930s, 1940s in Chicago. As you expect in a Mafia game, there's a lot of Italians. People like Mafias are speaking with an accent. In this remake, not only they improved the pictures a lot, they reconstructed the city from scratch to make it in 4K. And also they remade the scripts, the voice acting. And I think a lot of great job was done. The Mafia in the early 2000s was a masterpiece. It was a big hit. It may be the best game out of all Mafia game series for sure. And now they made it even better. And no wonder why the game was very prestigious at that time, because I played it. The story is really good. And to live back in the 1940s and see all the old cars, the old-fashioned style, everything was exactly, they captured the moment. It's very different than any game that you play in the modern time, like GTA and something like that. So definitely I highly recommend Mafia game.
Would you look at that? We've reached the point where if you've been enjoying what you've been seeing, or if you're learning something new on how to save some money, feel free to click the like button, throw some comments down there, and maybe even subscribe. So that way we can build this community even bigger. So that way we can keep playing the best games and not break the bank. We're also keeping you up to date on a lot of deals that are happening real fast through things like our YouTube stories and our newly created Instagram. So if you're trying to jump on flash sales that only last a few hours, that's the best way to do it.
Also, we will be giving $10 PlayStation Store gift card to a lucky subscriber, somebody who really follow our channel and participate in the comments and likes. I will have more in the description below how to participate and how you can have more entry if you use other social media methods.
PlayStation Store has got some great deals. Ones that I want to pay special attention to is Alan Wake Remastered for $20 or $19.99. Obviously, as it says, it's a remaster of a classic, I believe it was an Xbox Live Arcade title, called Alan Wake, of course. It's a murder third-person thriller. I've yet to play it. It has some supernatural stuff for sure. I will say this is valid because there's going to be a Alan Wake 2 supposedly in the works. I know it's like the CGI teaser trailer, but it's still something that's worth excited about. It's gotten enough attention because Alan Wake has kind of built more of a cult following, at least to the point of getting a full remaster. Of course, this is the usual thing, your performance updates, your 4K, that kind of stuff. So people who have missed out on this game can probably get another breath of fresh air for it if you haven't played it already. Or if you haven't, you can jump in because the story has been one of the strongest points that have let it endure all these years. So if that's something that's worth checking out, and especially at $20, I believe it launched at 50. So getting it over 50% off is a great get already. And then going on the other end, we've got the Disney Classic Collection for $14.74, odd price. But the Disney Afternoon Collection is, of course, a collection of a lot of older, I believe they're almost all NES titles, or at least Nintendo titles. And they call it that because it's like the Disney Saturday afternoon shows that were popular. You got DuckTales, you got Tailspin, Chip and Dale, all that stuff. And they were well known around the time. They were good co-op titles. They were just decent platformers in general. And, you know, if you can get over that 8-bit graphic style, it's a good time. Or if you played it back in the day, this could introduce you or even younger ones that you know to get involved in it. And like we say for these collections too, you know, full price for these things can get pretty dicey because you're not sure what the situation will be. However, $14.74 is a great get. Under $15, that's a good way just to indulge in a little bit of nostalgia.
Another honorable mention I'm going to talk about really quickly is the Trek to Yomi. It's $14.99. It's currently the lowest we have seen for this game. Usually it was for around $25 to $30. This is a very short game, maybe 5 hours. If you're looking for a game to play during the holiday, this is a game to beat very quick. It's a samurai game that is black and white. And it has, you know, I would say like a little bit of platformer, a little bit of the samurai, you know, the sword movement, the ninja movement, the double jump, and some puzzles here and there. It's very different than any other games that you played recently. It's a 2D game, but the graphics was done really good. I mean, sometimes it's gonna become 3D, but the game is still very linear, and you can go only in one direction. But it has nice puzzles. I really enjoyed it, and now for $14.99, definitely worth a shot. There are still a lot of these on PlayStation Store. I'm gonna mention really quick. Deathloop Deluxe for $14.99. It's good price for this game. This game is not for everybody. This game won a lot of awards last year because it's very creative. Basically, you'll be stuck in a loop and you'll die a lot, and hence the name Deathloop. In this loop, your goal is to assassinate 8 bosses. The game is gonna be very slow at the beginning and in fact very easy. You'll be bored of how easy it was. But then it's going to become challenging more and more, especially when you try to assassinate all the bosses in a single loop. When you die, you're going to start the loop all over from the very beginning. It can be frustrating for this reason, but it's going to challenge you. And that's what's going to allow you to play more. You're gonna be this loop, and the game will reward you for your persistence, because every time you gain a new weapon or new skills, it will stay with you to the next loop, even if you die. So you're getting stronger with every loop you die. I really find the game very creative in terms of the mapping, the instruction, the story, the dialogue. The game, if you're patient enough to give this game few hours before it start building up the tension, you will be rewarded big time. Especially this is the deluxe edition, and it comes with extra cosmetics. $14.99, you can't go wrong with this game.
I'm going to rapid fire some honorable mentions for you that are on the PlayStation Store. A few of these we've mentioned quite a couple of times, so we're going to throw them out there real quick for you, because once again, these are pretty good deals that I would mention that are worth picking up if you haven't picked them up already. We're looking at Witcher 3 Complete, fantastic RPG at $9.99. Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, the definitive Mortal Kombat 11 with all characters at just $14.99. Mass Effect Legendary Edition down to $23.99. A classic set of sci-fi RPGs from the previous generation, or rather 2 previous generations now. And finally, Hades for $18.74, a roguelite that was winning awards 2 years ago, last year, maybe, I'm not sure. Fantastic story for a roguelite, beautiful art style, fantastic music, all around fantastic addictive game. These are deals that we've seen a few times before. I don't know if any of these are really the lowest, but these are pretty good, especially the Mass Effect one, because I think that one is for sure the lowest. Mortal Kombat we've mentioned, Witcher 3 we've mentioned a lot. So these are ones that are definitely worth grabbing to pick. Witcher 3 will have a free upgrade for next generation too. So get in there while it's good, so that way you can not worry about the free upgrade and get yourself a next gen title while we're at it.
There's still a lot of great games on PlayStation Store. We can't list them all, but I'm gonna mention a few that stood up to me. If you want to find a game to play with a friend, there's 2 of them. It Takes Two for $15.99 and A Way Out for $7.49. This is again PlayStation Store North America. Takes Two, it was a game of the year last year. It's a game where a couple need to overcome their differences and their problems to play as a team and try to save their daughter. It's a very fun game, easy to play with significant other if you have, or a friend, whether online or local. A Way Out is 2 prisoners who want to escape the prison, and you guys need to collaborate to escape this prison. Also doesn't require a lot of knowledge in the video game. Like anybody who, if you have a significant other who likes to try a game, this is an easy game to pick up. The controllers are not that complicated, and very easy and fun to play. Another game I'm gonna mention out is Assassin's Creed Odyssey Gold Edition for $24.99. I always recommend getting the $24.99, the Gold Edition, because it comes with the 3 DLCs. These 3 DLCs cost like $15 each. If you try to buy the Standard Edition and try to buy these DLCs extra, each one of these DLC will add around 15 hours, maybe 10 hours extra, and it's totally worth it. It's really add to the great game, give it a lot more content for your bucks. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is, maybe one of the, not the latest, Valhalla is the latest, but this one, it takes place in Greek, and Ubisoft took a lot of time to make this game. They almost skipped a year, which is unusual, but it definitely paid off. The map is huge, the story is fantastic. I just want to mention really quick, another game I'm going to talk about is Avengers for $15.99. Avengers, as you expect, all the Marvel's heroes are there, including Spider-Man. All the DLCs are added to the game. It started short, but the DLCs made the game very long. It's also great value for what you're paying for. The game can be a little bit repetitive in terms of the actions that you'll be doing, but because it has a lot of characters, a lot of side stories, and the main story itself is still very fun. I highly recommend this game, especially if you're a big fan of Marvel's heroes. Thank you guys for watching.
Yes, thank you. And of course, have you played any of these games? Did you take advantage of any of those deals? Was GameFly ever in your wheelhouse? It's always worth knowing, so throw it down in the comments down below. We want to pay attention to that community, and we're hoping to help grow and answer some questions and get some discussion going.
Also remember, if you got Xbox One, Xbox Series, or Nintendo Switch, we got you covered. We had different playlists for those, so make sure you check it out. Also, please subscribe to our channel. It will really help us a lot. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.
See you real soon.